guys, welcome back to my read long channel. Today we are reading the next chapter of the Dare game. Tracy Beaker is back. This chapter is called Alexander's Home. This is all Jaqueline Wilson's own work. I'm just reading it for entertainment and pleasure. So without further ado, we are on page 67. Let's get going, guys. Alexander's Home. I'm mad at Cam. I went through agony telling her. I feel really bad. I was nearly crying. I thought it would be awful for her. But do you know something? She didn't seem to care at all. She didn't gasp and cry and cling to me. She just sat there, biting her nails. Though she ticks me off something rotten if I do that. She didn't say anything. Not a single word. No. Don't leave me, darling Tracy. You mean the world to me, and I can't live without you. Nothing. So I got a bit mad then and told her that my mum thinks I look a right old scruff bag and she's going to get me kitted out in a full set of designer clothes. I thought that might get her going. I thought she might say, "Oh, Tracy, I feel so bad. I've never given you decent clothes. But tell you what, if you promise to stay with me, we'll go into town right away and I'll wave my credit card like a wand and you can wear anything you want. Money, no object, just as long as you live with me." But not a bit of it. She still said a big fat nothing. So I got really, really mad because she obviously couldn't care less. So I went on about this other stuff my mum was going to buy me, like a computer and rollerblades and a new bike and a trip to Disneyland, and she didn't even flinch, didn't even try to compete, simply couldn't be bothered. She just sat there, nibble on her nails, like she was bored with the whole situation and couldn't wait to be shot of me. So then I was mega mad and just wanted to don Doc Martens and jump up and down on her. So I went on and on about my mum and how great she is and fantastically beautiful and wonderfully dressed and how we had these amazing cuddles and it was just like we'd never been parted. And she still didn't say a word. Nibble on the nails till she was nearly down to her knuckles. Say something. She just sat there, and then she eventually took her hand out of her mouth and mumbled, "I don't really know what to say." Call herself a writer. I thought you were meant to be good with words. Just at the moment they're sticking in my throat, she mumbled, just like I'd been squirted superglue round her tonsils. I went and stood right in front of her. She was all huddled up, almost as if I had been jumping all over her. I had this sharp little pain in my chest, and I suddenly felt like I was mother, and she was a little girl. "You're sad, aren't you, Cam?" I said softly. She made more mumbly noises and started nail-biting again. I reached out and took hold of her nibbled hand. "You're unhappy. That's my mum's comeback, aren't you?" I said hopefully. Cam didn't say anything for a few seconds. Then she gave me this weird smile, practically stretching from ear to ear. "I'm happy for you, Tracy," she said. I dropped her hand like I was red hot and ran out of the room, happy, smiling all over her face. She obviously couldn't wait to be rid of me. She doesn't care about me at all. Well, I don't care. I don't need her. I've got my mum now. I'll go and live with Mum, and I shan't mind a bit if I never see Cam ever again. I'm not going to take any notice of her. I'm just going to put my life on hold until I can go and live with my mum. I'm not going to go to school either. I'm in a bit of bother and at school at the moment. I started up a dare game quite by chance. Roxanne was calling me the B word again because she knows it really gets to me, so I dared her to say it in front of Mrs. Bagley. I thought she'd chicken out, but her eyes glittered and she said, "Right." She marched up to Mrs. Beebe and said, "Tracy Beaker told me to say this weird word, Mrs. Bagley." And then she said it straight out and added, "Oh, little Miss Innocence, is it rude?" So I guess who got into trouble. "And I won the dare," said Roxanne. I stuck my tongue out at her, waggling it as rudely as I can. "It's my turn to dare you now," said Roxanne. "I dare you to stick your tongue out like that at Mrs. Bagley." So I did, and guess who got in trouble again? "But it's my turn now," I said, catching up with Roxanne at break. I peered past the cloakrooms and had a sudden inspiration. "Okay, I dare you to run right into the boys' toilets." So she did, but she said I'd pushed her in, so I got into heaps more trouble. And now it was her turn to dare me. She waited till lunchtime. It was spaghetti bolognese. I don't like school spag bowl. The cook makes it bright red like blood, and the spaghetti seems extra wiggly like worms. I pushed my plateful away from me. Don't you want it, Tracy? Said Roxanne. Her eyes glitter and glitter and glitter. Okay, dare you to tip it over your head. So I did, and when Roxanne and all her stupid friends started screaming with laughter, I tipped Roxanne's spag bowl over her head. I ended up in big, big trouble. I had to stand outside the head's office for the rest of the day in total disgrace. Mr. Hathaway went past and shook his head at me. Hair ribbon, he said, picking a strand of spaghetti out of my curls. It looks just like you've really hit the jackpot today, Tracy. What's poor Miss Bagley going to do with you, eh? I was sure she was going to invent some serious form of torture. I don't see why I should submit to serious form of bag aggro. I won't even go in for registration. What do I care if they phone up Cam and complain? I shan't be at that school much longer. My mum will send me to a brand new super cool school where I'll be dead popular because all of my designer clothes and everyone will be in awe of me and be desperate to be my best friend. And even the teachers will think I'm the greatest and I'll be top of the class and the best girl in the whole school. You wait. You just wait and see. So when Cam took me to school this morning, I waved goodbye and ran into the playground and went on running all around the kids and then back out again and down the road, running and kept running, and I kept it up for ages, acting like there were Tracy catchers prowling with nets and hooks and manacles. I didn't know why I was running like crazy. Then I realised where I was running to, my house. I rounded the corner and a football came whizzing straight through the air, about to knock my head clean off my shoulders. But I'm Tracy's superstar, the goalie, who nanosecond quick reactions. I leapt, I clutched, I tucked the ball close to my chest and saved. Wow, I yelled, congratulating myself. This big burly kid came charging up, his head around the football, but with a little prickles all over, a serious don't mess with me haircut. Make that hair shave. Give us that ball, he said. Did you see the way I caught it? I said, leaping about. What a save, eh? Sheer fluke, said football guy. He knocked the ball out of my hand and started dribbling with it. Sheer skill, I said indignantly. Come on, see if you can get a better ball past me. Another ball past me. I don't play with girls. Girls are great at footy, I said. Well, I am. Let's play, yeah? No, get lost, little girlie. I suddenly charged at him. He stiffened in surprise, expecting some kind of mad attack, and forgot about his ball. I gave it a nifty little hooking kick and whipped it right out of his reach. Superb tackle, I yelled, nudging it along. The great Tracy Beaker and her brilliant footwork yet again. She's really come good, this girl. Ouch! Football did not tackle with finesse. He went whack, I went smack on my back. I lay there groaning. Football stopped, bouncing the ball right in my head. Football stopped, bouncing the ball right by my head. You all right, kid? He said. Oh, yeah, sure. Just having a little kip on the pavement, I mumbled. I didn't mean to knock you flying like that. I didn't realise you're such a little kid. I'm not, I said, insulted. Here. He reached out with his great pink hand, and suddenly I was hauled upright. Okay, now, mind you, it's your own fault. You shouldn't have messed around with my football. I wasn't messing, I was tackling. You've got a totally useless defence. Here. I gave a sudden lunge, all set to prove my point, but he was wise to me now, and got the ball well away before I could get near it. Give over, kid, he said, laughing, and then he dribbled the ball around the corner. Don't go. Hey, football came back. Play with me, eh? There isn't anyone else. Go on, football. But he'd gone. See if I care. You're lousy at football anyway, I yelled. Then I sloped off to the house. I decided it was definitely going to be my house until I go off and live with my mum and have my very own real house. I'd not got the cushion and the blanket organised, or any proper provisions. I searched my pockets for forgotten goodies. The best I could do was an ancient chewed piece of gum stuck on the corner of a tissue. Well, I think it was gum. Certainly it didn't look very appetising. Whatever, I didn't have any cash on me either. It looked like I was going to have to play skinny starving to death fashion model in my house. Not my most favourite game. But the weirdest thing happened. I went up the scruffy path at the back, investigating an old Kentucky chicken carton with my foot just in case. No luck at all. Totally licked clean to the bone. I climbed in through the back window, negotiated the kitchen, and walked into the living room, my footsteps sounding oddly loud in the bare footboards. on the bare floorboards. The old curtains were drawn, so it was quite dark in the room, but I could still see my red velvet sofa in the middle of the room, with a big black velvet cushion at one end and a blue blanket neatly covering the worst of the muddy marks. I stared at them as if I'd conjured them out of thin air. It was like one of those old fairy tales. I squinted long and hard at the cushion and blanket to see if they were being toted about by disembodied hands. I liked this idea, even if it was kind of spooky. Maybe the hands were perched in the corner somewhere, ready to flap their flying fingers at my commands. Okay, the cushion and the blanket are spot on. But what about some food? I said, snapping my own fingers. Then I stopped mid-snap, my nails digging into my thumbs. I'd spotted an upturned cardboard packing case over by the window, with the check dishcloth nearly laid over it like a little tablecloth. There was a paper party plate with an entire giant packet of Smarties carefully arranged on top in rings of colour: brown, green, blue, mauve, pink, red, orange, with yellow in the middle so that it looked like flour. I shivered from right up in the scalp down to the little taily bit at the end of my spine. My favourite food in the world is Smarties, and here was a big plate of them, beautifully laid out just for me. It is magic, I whispered, and I circled my cardboard table. I put out a hand and picked up a red Smartie. I licked it. It was real. I popped it in my mouth and then hurriedly shoved another handful after it in case they'd suddenly disappeared. Then I went to the drawer at the old dusty curtains so I could have a closer look and suss out how this magic was working. I yanked at the curtain and screamed. Someone else screamed too. A boy was sitting scrunched up on the window ledge, knees up under his little pointy chin, hands clasping a book, mouth gasping, eyes blinking. "What are you doing here? Are you trying to frighten me?" I yelled. He clasped his book so tightly it was in danger of buckling. His eyes were little slits because his face was so screwed up. "You frighten me," he whispered. "What are you doing in my house?" I demanded. He sat up a little straighter. "It's my house, actually," he said timidly. "You don't live here." "Yes, I do. Or during the day I do. I'm making it my home. I bought the cushion and the rug and organised the refreshments." "You what?" "Oh, the Smarties." He looked over at my place. "You spoilt my pattern," he said. "It's only babies who play with food." Well, that's what they said at the children's home when I made my peas climb up my mashed potato mountain. "Did you really think it was magic?" he asked. "Of course not," I said firmly. "I thought by the sound of your footsteps you were really big and scary," he said, unclenching and swinging his legs free. "That's why I hid." "I'm big and scary," I said. "Bigger than you anyway, little squirt." "Everyone's bigger than me," he said humbly. "How old are you then? 9, 10? I'm nearly 12. I stared. "You don't look it." "I know." "So what are you doing here then?" I asked, helping myself to another handful of Smarties. I offered him the plate, seeing as they were his refreshments. He said thank you politely and ate one of the blue Smartie, nibbling at the edges first like it was a biscuit. He didn't answer me. "Are you bunking off?" I asked. He hesitated, then nodded. "You won't tell, will you?" he said, swallowing a Smartie. "I'm not a snitch." I looked him up and down. "Fancy you bunking off? You look too much a goody teacher's pet. Dead swotty." I pointed to his big fat book, trying to work out the title. "Alexander the Great." "The Great what?" "No, that was just what they called him, as in Tracy the Great. I'd rather like the sound of it." "That's me, Tracy." "I'm Alexander," he said. "Oh, Alexander the Not-So-Great. So you're obviously dead brainy. Why do you need to bunk off? I bet you come top of everything." He nodded. "Yep, except for PE. I'm bottom at PE. I always bunk off on games days." "You're mad. PE's a bit of a laugh, especially when it's football." "I'm truly Tracy the Great at footy, framed for my nippy footwork and dirty tackles." Old Vomit Bagley goes bright red in the face, blowing her whistle at me. Alexandra was whinging on about them being even worse than them. "Them? The other boys, they tease me." "What about?" Alexander ducked his head. "All sorts of stuff, especially when we're in the showers." "Aha! They laugh at me because you're Alexander Not So Great," I said, giggling. Alexander flinched as if I'd hit him. I suddenly felt mean. I hitched myself up on the window seat beside him. "So you bunk off?" I said. "Haven't they complained to your mum?" Yes. So what did she say? She never says anything much. It's Dad. Alexandra said the word Dad as if it meant Rottweiler. What did he say? I could feel Alexandra trembling. He'd send me away to boarding school if I didn't watch out, and then I couldn't play truant, and he said I'd really get bullied there. He sounds dead caring, your dad, I said, and I patted Alexandra on his bony little shoulder. He says I have to learn to stand up for myself. I snorted suddenly and gave him the teeniest little push. He squealed in shock and nearly fell off the window seat. I hauled him back. You're not even very good at sitting up yourself, I said, shaking my head at him. I know, Alexandra said dolefully. So come on then, try fighting back. I can't, I don't know how. I'll show you. He was in luck. I'm the greatest fighter in the world. I'm especially good at getting a sly punch in first, and I don't just rely on fists. I'm great at kicking shins. If I'm really pushed, I bear my killer choppers and bite. I pulled Alexander off the window seat and tried to get him to put his fists up. His little hands dropped back down to his sides. I can't fight, and anyway, I can't hit a girl. You won't get a chance, matey, I said, putting my own fists up. I gave him one little gentle punch, then another. He didn't react, apart from blinking rapidly. Come on, try to hit me back. Alexander lunged at me feebly. His fist could have been cotton wool. Harder. He had one more go. I stepped sideways, and he punched the thin air, stumbled, and very nearly fell over. Oh, well, I see what you mean, I said, realising he was totally hopeless case. I'm useless, said Alexander, drooping all over. Only fighting, I said. I pondered. I looked at his funny little feet in their highly polished Clark's lace-ups. It didn't look like he'd be much of a kicker. His tiny teeth only seemed capable of a hamster nibble, not a vicious vampire bite. Other tactics might be required. I tried to think of what I did those rare times when I was up against some huge gorilla guy who could jump up and down all over me. Easy. I got lippy and then ran. See this, I said to Alexander, and I stuck out my tongue. It's a very long pink tongue, and I can waggle it till I almost touch my ears. Alexander backed up away nervously. I replaced my tongue with my prize. It's more cutting than the sharpest knife. Alexander nodded in agreement. I wondered if he got what I meant. You want to say something really cutting to those boys at your school? Oh, sure, said Alexander. I detected a surprising spot of sarcasm. Then they'd beat me up even more. Maybe he had a point. So why don't you say something to make them laugh, like when you're in the showers? They laugh at me already. Make them laugh more. I thought hard, trying to imagine myself into the situation. I got the giggles. I know. You tell them they might all have sonking great cucumbers, but you're very happy with your own little gherkin. Alexander blinked at me. You can't say that. Yes, you can. I wouldn't dare. Yes, you would. I dare you. There, now you've got to say it. If you want to be my friend. Alexander looked puzzled. Are we friends? The cheek of it. Don't you want to be friends? I demanded. Alexander nodded wisely. Right, so we're friends, and we'll meet up again tomorrow, I said. Same time, same place. He better be there. I hope he organises some more refreshments. And that is it, guys. So the next one will be Football's Home, and then it will be on page 87. But until the next time, guys, thank you so much for listening, and goodbye.